tape is being made, Mr. and Mrs. Nippert, for you as a remembrance of the big house and the way it looked before it was renovated. We'll go from room to room, make a record of each room, and also a small explanation of what is in each room. This is the back entrance to the Gamble estate. This is the way we usually go in when we go in and turn the lights off or on. This is the new kitchen of the big house. Years ago, this was used as the back porch. The sinks that you see here are 3, and they were used years ago. This is where the washing of the clothes was done. And then, as I say, we closed this in and we made what we call the new kitchen here. We'll leave this room and go into the butler's pantry. In the pantry area, this is one of the sinks that we have in the house. We have another one upstairs that is similar to this. This is our pantry area. This is where we keep all of the dishes, the china, and the cut glass. You can see we have a lot of cut glass here, and these are the dishes that Mr. Gamble used when he was here. Our dining room, this table, when fully extended, will seat 12 people with ease. You can see the delicate wood carving on the pieces of furniture in this room. This is something that you do not find on modern furniture because you do not have the people now that go in for the wood carving. In a second, we will show you a picture of the man who lived in this house and ate at this table. This is a picture of James Norris Gamble, the man who lived in this home, and he was the son of the founder of Procter & Gamble's. Over to the left of the picture, in the cupboards, you'll see what we call a pass-through. When they were having a meal in here, the food would be prepared in the old kitchen, which we'll show later. Sat on this shelf of the picture is the couch that Mr. and Mrs. Nippert had in their home. The picture above the couch is a picture of Mr. James N. Gamble, who lived in this house. The fireplace in the middle of the picture is not operable now. At one time they put a fire in it and almost burnt the house down because the flue was bad. The green doors lead out to the solarium. This is a very pretty room. You can see the chairs, the rosewood chairs. The sitting room, you can see the beautiful furniture in here and the wood carving. The apparatus underneath the mantel is called the pianola. This fits over the keys of this grand piano, and you pump it like you would a player piano. It plays piano rolls. This piano was manufactured in New York. The rug on the floor is called the Navajo rug. It is a very valuable and priceless rug. The love seat, the seat here is called the love seat. You could see that the people could sit so they could face each other and talk. The figurines on top of the table and the radiator are called the Rogers statues. They are very famous, and they all have different titles. The one is called Football, the other is Checkers at the Farm, Taking the Oath, and the one on top of the cabinet is called One Last Shot. This was given to Mr. Nippert by Mrs. Robinson, and she thought the statue looked dirty, so she had it cleaned up and all the paint taken off of it, which actually ruined the value of the statue. This is where we bring all of our plants now. In the winter, we bring them in here and set them around in the solarium. Last year, I counted 125 plants that we bring in here. The fish pond in the center is made of rookwood pottery. which of course the Rookwood Pottery Company went out of business years ago and they don't make it anymore. This is a very pleasant room in the winter because of the sunlight coming through the skylight, and it's also always warm and humid in here because of the plants. Our downstairs library. The pictures on the wall, the first picture on the left is a picture of James Gamble, who was the founder of Procter & Gamble. The picture in the middle is James N. Gamble, who lived here. The picture of the lady is Mr. Gamble's wife, James Gamble. The desk in the center is a kidney-shaped desk. This particular man right here is the owner of the estate now. This is Mr. Louis Nippert. This is a desk that Mr. Nippert had down in his law office, and when he closed it up, he brought it out here because it belongs here. This is our vestibule area here, and we have a music box that plays metal discs. It is in very fine condition. You can hear the tune. If you look in here, you'll see that this is what it plays, a metal disc. This is the vestibule. As you can see, the very pretty leaded glass windows alongside of the door. When the sun shines through these windows, there's all different colors on the floor, on the rug, reds and greens and yellows and blue. It's just very pretty when the sun shines through the windows. Three leaded glass windows, and the reflection of the sun through them in the afternoon, the reflection of the colors on the rug, they're very pretty, like all the colors of the rainbow. Leading to the second floor, you can see the beautiful woodwork in this stairway, and the banister, and the woodwork in the ceiling and on the side walls. That is the entrance going to the old kitchen. At the top of the steps that we just took, the stairs going up to the left are going up to the atticway, or the third floor. This is the landing at the top of the steps. This is our hallway, where 4 rooms run off of this hallway. I stay in at nighttime. I have twin beds up here. This is one of the fireplaces in the home. This is a gas log fireplace. As you can see, the mantel is very ornate with the wood carvings. This is one of the pieces of furniture in this home that opens up into a desk. Maid's bedroom. The girls who worked here, this used to be their bedroom. The piece of furniture in the corner is called a shift robe. Years ago, they didn't have many closets in an older home, so they used these shift robes for closets. The bed, the headboard in the bed, you can see the beautiful wood carving in the headboard. There's not too much of this work done anymore because all of the artisans have died. This is a couch. It was in the sitting room of the girls' room, who were the maids. This will open up into a double bed. So you can see years ago we had hide-a-beds in the early 1900s. That Mr. Lewis Nippert used when he was a boy. He would come up here and sleep in this bedroom when he would visit his grandpa. The furniture in here all has marble tops on it, and as you can see is very beautiful and in fine condition. Upstairs library, there is another one of our fireplaces with a beautiful mantel. The table in the center, you can notice the delicate wood carving on top of the table. Of course, we have bookcases on the sides of the walls and another shift robe in the corner. James N. Gamble's room. This is the room that he slept in and also the room that he died in. He went to bed one evening, and the next morning when his nurse came up to wake him up, he had died during the night. He passed away quietly, as he always did in his life. This is a high hat of Mr. James Gamble's. The initials are on the inside, Mr. James Norris Gamble. And this is a hat that I wore when I was master of my lodge in Cheviot 140. I was given permission to wear this top hat by Mr. Lewis Nippert, who owns the estate now. The room was a very cheerful room. As you can see, the windows up at the end of the room, how they let the sunlight in. As I say, this was just a very cheerful room. Upstairs bedrooms, we had furniture in here, but it belonged to Mrs. Quinn, and her grandson took it to Florida. All of the chairs you see in this room were stored on the 3rd floor, and I brought them down and put them in this room just to keep them from dry rotting. Last person to live in the estate in direct relationship to the Gambles was Miss Olivia Gamble. And this was her bedroom. This is where she had her room. This is the bathroom that they had years ago. Mr. Gamble, when he lived here, had a number of firsts. He was the first man to have a sidewalk in Westwood. He was the first man to have a telephone in Westwood. And if you look here, you can see he was the first man to have a shower in Westwood. And this particular shower has got gauges and knobs on it, and it almost takes an engineer to run it. But when everything is working right, there's nothing that don't get wet. Of the home. This was used as their kitchen here. All of the meals were cooked on the old stove, which we will move the camera around to show in a few minutes. This is the stove that was used years ago for cooking. This is a wood-burning stove or a coal stove. It has ovens on it. It has 4 burners. Up at the top, it has a warming oven where you could keep food warm until it was ready to be served. I have never seen a stove like this other than in this home here. The film that we have taken of the James Norris Gamble estate. I have lived here myself for over 20 years. I've raised all of my children here on the estate, and I love the estate like I was born and raised here. I know the present owner
He loves this estate because he spent many years here as a young man and a boy. And I feel the same way. To me, living here has never been a job of an employee and an employer. I have thought of this as my home, and that's the way I have treated this.